I'm Patrick Davidson. On this episode of ReCAPS, we're sharing another personal history that CAPS recorded for the Museum of Ventura County's presentation, Ventura County, the Place We Call Home. Today's storyteller is Julio Alcala. Your name and spell it for us.
Sure, my name is Julio Alcala, Julioalcala.
And what's your background? Where are you from?
Well, I was born and raised in Oxnard, so I've been here most of my life. I did spend maybe about 5 years in Los Angeles, going to school out there. I went to UCLA, studied history, Chicano studies, but my fascination was always film and cinema and television. I was able to take some of those classes, luckily, at Oxnard College. Oxnard College at that time had a television program, which allowed us to get our hands, involved in with gear and learn the magic of editing. Editing makes everything happen, and more than anything, how to work with a whole team, how to be a team worker. But along with that, like I said, I was a history and Chicano studies major, so all the content I would produce, it always had to have some kind of social commentary element to it. So, it's like if you create something, you want people to pick up on it. I love experimental films. I love sci-fi. I love everything. But even those things, all art has some kind of like a social relevancy.
But you're back. You didn't stay in LA. You came back to Oxnard.
I came back to Oxnard. I wanted to support the family, and also I wanted to bring that. I thought about going to Hollywood, but I also thought, well, what if we bring all those elements out to here? For a long time, it was impossible to get the right gear to be able to produce quality work. But the more and more that technology just kept expanding with the birth of digital filmmaking, it was like you could create work anywhere. And if everybody was already in Hollywood, it was concentrated. So why not go to places like Ventura or stay in Ventura County where we could continue supporting our community and finding ways to highlight the beauty of Ventura County.
Very cool.
Yes.
So this is kind of a special place, this Ventura County.
Oh, the whole space. We have the beaches, we have the mountains, we have the open fields of Oxnard. We have the history of the generations over time, from the Chumash to the establishments of the missions, to the buildings of the farms, the agricultural workers, to the different type of immigrants that have made the Ventura County their home. So once again, because I was a history major, I really was fascinated by all these different elements. And I found a place here.
And what particularly touches you? What gravitates? What motivates you?
What motivates me, having been an immigrant, a son of immigrants, having never known English or not knowing English as my first language, all kinds of education. My teachers, from them teaching me English to then finding out the beauty of art as one form of expression, but also a form of getting people's emotions into subject matter. All those different things were kind of like what excited me. Yeah.
Home is kind of an overused word, but what does home mean to you?
Home is the people that surround me. They are the ones that help me become a better person. Home is also just the sacredness of the land, how we treat the land. Do we take care of it? Do we find space to do things like sweat lodges? Do we find space to hike and connect with nature? Home to me is all those elements. It's also my past. It's also my ancestors, and it's also the idea of building on that home, of how this home is going to be when I leave this space. It's still going to be a home. I want to make sure that I make it a space for other people to consider this space home.
What do you want people to know about Ventura? If somebody, what is it? What is it? What is this place?
Well, just like any person that loves their area, you want to brag about it, but you also don't want it to become saturated by everybody. I think that right now Ventura County is in that delicate space. We keep hearing things about gentrification everywhere, and the idea of or rebranding things. we want to make sure that the essence of Ventura County stays here. So to me, it's very important that we stay in touch with the history of the space and keep it. If we're gonna keep branding on it, make sure that it's organic. Make sure that what is here is what really is here. And there is so many things that are wonderful here that still need to be talked about and to surface.
Good answer. Very good answer. Yeah, I mean, there's such a rich heritage here that a lot of places don't have.
Oh yeah, like I said, I mean, having lived in Oxnard for so long, and looking at the history, I mean, there's a history of French people, German people. I mean, and then of course, Latinos that have been migrating to these areas for a while. So all these different stories, all these different things, and I'm a big foodie, so the more the merrier. I mean, just bring food from everywhere because I think that's one way that we definitely right away connect with each other. We're like, hey, come taste my tacos, come taste my Greek food, So I think all those things are part of our story.
Is there anything I haven't got? You nailed it. I think it's great.
Well, I just want to say once again the importance of helping the communities strive and understanding the hardships that everybody is going through. I understand, some people are living in a great place, some people are living in a not so great place. I want to believe that Ventura County, as it continues to grow, that we all see each other as part of a nexus. And if we can, let's build bridges amongst these different communities. I think this is what life's about, and I think that I mean, obviously, like I said, through art and community activism, and once again, making those bridges with the people who have the funding for it, I think that is the vision of what I want my home to be like in the future.
And what about the next generation?
The next generation, well, part of it is I'm going to do my best to try to support them, understand them, but at the same time, I'm going to have to also allow them to bring their part to it, to bring their opinions, and to have faith that they're going to be able to do it.
¿Qué significa el hogar para ti?
El hogar para mí es todo lo que me ha enseñado que es la vida. El espacio donde vivo, el condado de Ventura, las montañas de Ojai, las playas de Oxnard, todo el espacio de todas las partes, los jardines en todas las partes. También es donde he trabajado, de ayudar a mi familia a trabajar limpiando las casas, a los restaurantes donde he trabajado de dishwasher, también todo eso. Y también porque soy un activista de comunidad, todos los diferentes barrios donde he intentado de tratar de traer diferentes tipos de lecciones de arte, de producciones de video, de lecciones de la historia. Para mí también mi hogar es mi familia, mis antepasados, las lecciones que sigo pasando a otras generaciones.
¿Por qué no me hablas un poco más de el trabajo que haces con la comunidad? ¿Qué tipo de trabajo haces y cómo te hace sentirte el trabajar con otros?
Yo cuando estaba chico, mis padres fueron inmigrantes. Mi primer lenguaje fue español y cuando empecé la escuela me enseñaron cómo hablar inglés. Todo eso, en crecer, en estar educado por las diferentes escuelas, todo eso para mí es algo que yo quiero ayudar a mi comunidad con eso, porque yo sé que era muy difícil también para mis padres con diferentes situaciones, no tener documentos, todo eso para mí, cuando empecé a educarme con las escuelas, las universidades, yo traté de agarrar toda esa información para tratar de mejorar mi comunidad. Y por eso es muy importante para mí que trate de siempre de hacer algo para el mejor de todos, de las diferentes vecindades.
¿Y por qué crees que es importante ayudar a otros?
Yo creo que todos estamos conectados en una forma u otra. un maestro me dijo una lección que era maya que se llama la lección de en la quech. En la quech es una palabra que significa tú eres mi otro yo. Si te respeto a ti, entonces me respeto a mí. Entonces, para mí, ayudar a la gente con que convivo es como un espejo. Y para mí, dar amor es dar lecciones y ayudar a otros. Y yo creo que así se hace el mundo mejor y yo soy más completo así.
Vamos a seguir un poco más para explorar otras ideas. Eh, Cuando tú creciste, ¿me puedes hablar un poco de qué recuerdos tienes de tu infancia aquí?
Lo que me acuerdo de mi infancia que me encantó, mis padres no tenían carro cuando estaba chico, entonces siempre estábamos en nuestras bicicletas en todas las partes, o si no, andábamos en el autobús yendo a diferentes partes. Para mí, por eso siempre me acuerdo andar en aventuras. Pero en las aventuras siempre estaba explorando los espacios. Y por eso para mí me encanta ir a las montañas, me encanta caminar por la playa, nomás así para meditar, oyendo el sonido de toda la naturaleza.
Eh, es, ¿Ves tu visión de lo que es el hogar es muy diferente de la visión que tuvieron tus padres?
Yo creo que mis padres, sus vidas eran muy difíciles, tenían que trabajar muy duro para sobrevivir. Yo reconozco todo eso. Por eso trato yo también de trabajar duro. Al mismo tiempo, sé que uno no debe pasar todo el tiempo trabajando, tiene que tomar el tiempo para apreciar las cosas, para vivir.
Eh, ¿qué, ¿Qué mensaje sobre el hogar te gustaría dar a otros?
Yo creo que debemos de reconocer que en nuestros espacios, en nuestros hogares, ha habido muchas cosas, hay mucha historia. Tenemos que reconocer la gente que vivían aquí antes, las generaciones, la gente indígena que vivió aquí. Tenemos que entender las historias de las misiones, de los californios, del cómo crecimos como un espacio de agricultura. Todo eso se tiene que reconocer y mirar porque hasta todo el condado está cambiando mucho, estamos creciendo, pero todo eso son nuestras raíces y es algo que tenemos que tener mucho orgullo sobre eso.
A no ser que quieras añadir algo más, yo con lo que me has dicho estoy más que contento, pero si hay algo que piensas ahora que, nos es- que no estás, que te gustaría poder decir.
Por favor. El condado de Ventura es un espacio muy grande y muy hermoso. Entiendo que toda la gente aquí tienen diferentes formas de vivir, diferentes ah, l- ah, tenemos muchos diferentes, ¿cómo es la palabra? Hay gente pobre y hay gente rica. Tenemos que reconocer que en todos los espacios es eso, aquí también. Pero lo que yo quiero que entiendamos todos es que tenemos que tratar de hacer conexiones entre todos. Ya sabemos que la gente que trabaja en los files, um, por mucho tiempo les dijeron essential workers, ¿cómo se dice? Trabajadores esenciales. Am, Tenemos que reconocer eso. Tenemos que, no por si llegamos a un nivel de que ya estamos bien, estamos ricos, tenemos que decir, tenemos que ayudar a los que todavía necesiten esa ayuda. Y eso sí es lo que es muy importante en nuestros hogares. Mirar los que son hasta más abajo y tratar de traerlos a un nivel que se pueda vivir en buena forma.
Y lo último que te preguntaría es, ¿qué recuerdo qué recuerdo de tu infancia relacionas con lo que es el hogar?
Lo que acuerdo de mi infancia que, que lo conecto a mi hogar va a ser la importancia de seguir, sentirse uno seguro y poder a salir a cualquier parte y platicar con cualquier persona. Cuando estaba chico me encantaba platicar con todas las personas. No me importaba quién eras. Estaba fascinado lo más diferente que eras. Y así que quisiera que pensaran así en todos los espacios. Hay mucha maravilla que ver, que entender. Y con eso, así les podemos seguir.
Today's storyteller is Lynda Braunschweiger.
So tell me a little about yourself. Give me your background.
Sure, sure. I'm a native Californian, born in Santa Monica, raised in the San Fernando Valley in Northridge. Did a stint of traveling, working in DC and working in Sacramento, and a career path that kind of took me all over the state. And when I was ready to settle down and think about children, some of my family members had moved to Ventura County. And I thought, that is a beautiful community that to raise children in would be maybe the great place to settle.
And has it proven to be true?
Beyond measure. I was at something today earlier, and we were talking about Ventura County, and I was sharing how many communities that I've worked in professionally, the ability to collaborate wasn't always there. And I love the fact that in Ventura County, we collaborate, whether it's for parks, whether it's for housing, whether it's for food, it's government, it is corporate America, it's neighbors, it's children. And I just find that so reassuring and comforting to live in a community where people want to work together to solve issues and to make it the best community possible.
And why do you think that is? Why is it so unique?
I don't know the answer, but my thought process has been that this county is made up of a lot of people who are in ag, and they come with deep roots, with family connections, connection to land, connection to home, connection to family, and they want to see that continue. And so I've seen over the years as the matriarchs of this community are heading into their very golden years, the next generation wants to see the community continue on that path. And we could talk for days, but we won't, about some of the policies that are ensuring that we keep this beautiful county looking pretty similar. Not exactly the same, but similar.
It's interesting you say matriarchs. I like that.
Well, I'm saying that because I just spent 3 hours with one of the best matriarchs in this county, Ellen Brokaw. And I love the lady. She's half mother, she's half mentor for me, and just another part dear friend. And we were talking about the history and the history of their farm. And so that's what made me think matriarch instead of patriarch.
Yeah. Well, but I think that maternal essence is extremely important.
It's interesting that you say that because about a year ago, well, actually a little over a year ago, I was at an event with a number of senior level women, including Carmen Ramirez, the last event for her. And we were talking about the female leadership in this county and with just amazing talent and all, whether it be corporate or government, and how it was working so well. Then to lose her was devastating. But we have a new CEO of the county, not so new now, but is another strong female leader. So I agree with you.
Very much so. Very much so. We're talking about home, and we've talked around it, but what?
Yes.
I'll ask two ways. One is, what's the essence of home to you?
Sure.
But the other thing I would say is, as someone who survived the Thomas fire, the question we ask, what do we take? So if you were in that situation, what would you take?
I'll tackle the first one first. Home is something that has always been extremely important to me. Even though I grew up in a family with a strong family unit, the home, those walls, those doors, the love inside that home, the ability to be who you are in those walls with no pretense was really important. You could dream in our house. You could think about and evaluate what was going on in the world and talk about it and determine whether you agreed or disagreed. Those kinds of conversations were an important part of my growing up. My parents believed that family ate dinner together, which many people did back then. We always ate by candlelight because it calmed the kids down. You know, after a busy day of all the stuff of running around as a young family with younger kids, we ate by candlelight. And there was something about that that just made us more comfortable to talk and to calm down and listen to each other. So I wish I could say I've instilled that with my kids, but it lasted a few years, but that was about it. So home is security. Home is safe. Home is comfort. It's love. It's extremely important. What would I take? A lot of those things you can't take if there's a fire, because the things that you take when there's a fire or whatever are material. So if I had my two children with me, I would be just fine.
So,
Yeah.
how do you convey that passion to your kids, the generations that are coming up, and you feel as though they get it? Do they share it?
Well, we have an interesting story, like everybody does. So I, after a career in Washington, decided to come back here and decided to adopt two children from Russia as a single mom. And so I will never forget the judge saying to me, I can't believe these children are going from Siberia to the coast of California. And I hadn't, really thought about that, but realistically, that's a huge change. And so my children I got at 1 year old, so they were babies, but they always knew they were adopted and that I was their forever mom. But our home was their safe place and they felt secure. But I also thought it was really important that my children see what was going on around them. So I started when they were 5 and 7, and we started doing mission work down in Mexico and building houses. And, we're not talking big things. We're talking a block with 4 walls and a roof. But my kids were able to see that not everybody has that. And that made an impact on them. They also got to see us hand the keys to these families. And sorry, it gets me every time. The emotion of them going from a shack of cardboard and whatever they could find to 4 walls with beds in it has an impact, whether you're 5 or whether you're. So I think by showing these things to them, it might have also helped that I run an affordable housing revolving loan fund, and I'm talking about these issues with my kids. We talk about homelessness. We talk about Bob, who's homeless, is Bob, and Bob has a story, and Bob has a life that he led, and situations and decisions got him to where he is today. And we still love Bob, and we need to help Bob. So simply stating those kinds of things, my children have come to be very caring people. The sad part is, and this is the history of Ventura County, they can't afford to live here now as 20-something-year-olds. So yes, they can afford it as long as they're living with me, but they want to move on. And so that's part of what I also do, is to try to change that for the next generation so they can afford to stay here. We need them to stay here.
That's great. Yeah, you're right. We could talk for hours. And what strikes me is that a term we use, and you have a very different perspective on it. We refer to people as homeless.
Correct. Yeah.
And this whole theme is about home. But what is
home
mean to a homeless person?
Yeah. Well, as we walked in, for those of us that walked in within the last hour, I don't know how long they've been there, there's 4 gentlemen who I believe don't have a place to lay their head at night, and they're on their bikes out there. And I said to my friend here that, maybe this crew should go out and interview them. I think you might get an interesting take. Might not fit what you're looking for, but I think it's an interesting story.
Well, it's an entire mosaic
Yes, it is. Yeah.
that from different, how we come at it.
Yeah.
What you pass along to your children is fabulous.
Well, it was important to them because I live in Camarillo. And like a lot of communities around here, they see wealth. They see nice cars, they see nice clothes. I'm a single mom and I do what I can do for them, but I wanted them to know there's a whole nother side of life that isn't all that prettiness. And so, I got great joy out of it as well. So I won't say it was, unselfish as well, but they do have that heart now, and they look at things differently, and I'm proud that they do. Yeah, for sure.
They're lucky children.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to add that you think would add to the people's experience?
Well, I think, when I was thinking about this, the home that I grew up in, and others may have grew up in, is very different than maybe the home you grew up in or the apartment you grew up in. And I think one of the things that's missing today here in Ventura County is a variety of types of homes. We know the single family home with the nice little yard and the fence, and we know apartments, and we may know mobile homes. But what about a tiny home? What about a micro unit that's very small, like a college dorm that 20-year-olds could live in? That's something I'm hoping that Ventura County is going to start evolving into, is a diverse type of housing, because that's still home to that person. It doesn't have to be 1,200 feet. It can be 300 feet, and they can be perfectly happy. I think the current generation today is teaching some of us older folks that, for them, it's about experiences. It's about traveling the world. It's not about this chunk of land that I own. I need a place to put my head and where I can go after work. But once I'm done with work and I want to go, I want to travel. I want experience. I want people. It takes a different look at housing and home.
And you can take your home with you.
In many cases, you can, yeah. But it's not about living to make sure you have the home of X size and X look. It's about a place that you feel safe and it's clean and it's secure, but it may only be 300 or 400 or 500 square feet, and that's fine.
Lynda,
Yeah.
could you tell Patrick, how does it feel for you to help the community? What feelings does it bring you to help others?
Yeah, well, thank you. This has become my passion, if you haven't figured that out. Because I think home is the fundamental piece of it all. If somebody feels secure and safe and supported and loved in whatever that environment is, they can go out and face the world from there. When it's missing, so much else in your life struggle, and it's difficult, and people make poor choices. So it really comes down to that fundamental, whatever it is that is your home. And so I do this work because I'm passionate about that piece, because I can see the difference when people get housed appropriately.
And what do you get out of it?
I just get the internal joy to see somebody get those keys, or they can look and know that their children have a place that they can study and that their children are safe. It's nothing more than that. It's really all about that internal feeling that the work that I do is mission driven and it's going to accomplish something for somebody else.
Doesn't mean to be.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Because you have that, because most of us don't.
Well, I did the corporate track. I understood the corporate track. So this part of my life is about others